Greetings and salutations. You are watching PopGoesVR, episode number 10. My name is Danthol. I'm here with my co-host, Ryan. How's it going, Ryan?
I am doing wonderful, Danthol. It's been, I always say hectic. It's been a great week. It's a nice rainy day today, so it's actually kind of cool. I bitched about the heat last time. It's a cool day today, so I'm cool, Danthol. I'm cool.
Excellent. It is the middle of August in Arizona, in Mesa, Arizona. So it is hot. It is very hot. I have to turn off my air conditioner in the room to do the show, and I always get a little bit sweaty because it gets warm in here quick. So I am the opposite. You are Canada. I am in hell. Yes. So PopGoesVR is a VR. It's a virtual reality show about virtual reality. The heat's melting in my brain. It's a show about virtual reality in virtual reality. This is recorded with two VR180 cameras, and we talk about virtual reality stuff, and it's fun. This week, we are talking about a Cronenberg movie called eXistenZ, which sounds like a prescription pill for men who have performance issues. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about this movie, Ryan.
All right, so eXistenZ, I'll read the synopsis here, then we'll get into the details here. It's a science fiction horror film written, produced, and directed by David Cronenberg. The plot of the film follows a game designer named Allegra Geller, played by Jennifer Jason Leigh, who finds herself targeted by assassins while playing a virtual reality game of her own creation. This thing came out in 1999, 1 month before The Matrix, which is crazy. Cost about $30 million to make, made about $3 million, so it was a box office bomb. And the DVD release uses the quote, "makes The Matrix look like child's play," which I thought was pretty funny when I found that, because it doesn't. It's weird, but I don't know if I'd go that far. But yeah, eXistenZ. This is a bizarre take on VR, something I've never seen before for sure. That I've already seen this before. This is your first time watching it. Let's let you talk about your first time watching eXistenZ.
So, it was weird that this was a kind of pre-The Matrix and pre-Inception. We were talking about this before. This is very kind of like the movie Inception, in the sense of everybody plugs into everybody else. So it starts off, you're in something that kind of looks like a church or a town meeting hall, and here comes this game designer girl who's designed this new game, and she's about to give a demonstration to this lucky group of people who are big fans of the company that makes the games. What's the name of the corporation that makes eXistenZ?
I don't think I have it in the notes. It was
I'm doing the trivia.
I couldn't remember it. It was a weird name. I don't remember.
Yeah. So anyways, eXistenZ is the name of the game that they are playing. So a couple of them raise their hands. They get selected. They get on stage. And they have this thing. She has this thing that looks like a ski boot. And she pulls out of her ski boot a pod. And these umbilical cords that come out of the pod. And people get the umbilical cords and they put it into their port. And it joins you into the game. So the pod is like this game console that can connect people through holes they have at the base of their spine. So it's really weird to start off with. The pods, I don't know what they look like. They look like a plumbus is what it is here. There's two kind of references to Rick and Morty that are in here. Is in the Rick and Morty episode, they talked about Cronenberg, the whole planet has been Cronenberged. And then the plumbus thing, which is this weird, dangly, kind of sexual looking thing. And the pod, that is the virtual reality game console, kind of looks like that too. It's got these nubs and things on it, and you fling the nubs and it makes little squeals of delight and pulses and light and squirming and everything, and you're together with umbilical cords, and it puts you into the game world, and you have to see what the game is. And they're in the game world, and they're in a game shop where they're selling more games. So they buy a miniature version of the pod that is another game in the game, and the miniature version of the pod crawls into their existing port and now they're in a game, and they have to find out what the goal of the game is, and you have to like read the right dialogue out in order to progress the story moving forward, just like a video game. And it takes these weird twists and turns, and because it's David Cronenberg, he has to put a lot of weird, gross bones and organs and blood and squirting and squealing and this weird hybrid technology of mutating reptiles and their eggs to make them into processors for the game consoles. And you're like, what the hell is going on with this thing the entire movie? But you're like, you barely understand what's going on, but you understand enough the whole time. It is so weird. And it drops the whole virtual reality pretense at one point, and like to this psychosis to where they can no longer tell if they're in the real world or if they're in the game. It's entertaining.
Yeah, I mean Jude Law is our other lead. He plays Ted Pikel, and it's he's very much your human connection. He in the real world never played a game. He never got the port installed so he could play this thing. So he's all kind of new to everything. So he's very much your relation. Like the movie is confusing. It's meant to be confusing, and even Jude Law throughout the whole film is confused. And like I said, there's a scene there where he's like, I don't know what's really more. Like, is this real? Is this real? And I really dug that because you really, even watching the movie, you kind of forgot what was real. You're like, I'm pretty sure they're in the VR thing, but it doesn't seem like they're in the VR thing. Then they go, like I said, the next layer into VR. So it's very Inception-y that way, where like I said, layer upon layer. And even the way the movie ends ambiguously suggests that possibly, things might not be exactly how we think it ends, right. Which I like, because I mean, like I said, it's how you interpret it. There's no, it's like how the ending of Inception goes, where it's like, is he still in a dream? Is he not? It's very, very similar. In fact, watching this again, this is very Inception borrowed a lot from this movie, a lot.
Oh yeah,
like I didn't realize how much until I saw this again after not watching it since it came out, where I was like, damn, there is a lot of Inception in this movie. Like you said, that everything is all the tech is like bioorganic, but it's gross. Like you said, everything is like not just covered in slime, but like covered in extra slime. And like they have these the gun in the beginning is like this gun made of like bones and stuff that's like armed with teeth. And there's a scene later on in the movie where they got to make that gun. And it's disgusting, but it's still, you can't turn away. Like you said, you can't help but keep watching till the end. It's intriguing. It's unique. It's Cronenberg. I don't know how else to describe this movie.
Yeah.
It's just so bizarre, but it works. It works. I'm not saying it's the greatest VR film ever made. It's definitely got some holes, but I still enjoyed my time in this bizarre VR film.
Yeah. My first Cronenberg movie was a movie called Naked Lunch. When I was a little kid, when I was a wee lad of like 16 years old, 15 and 16, the video stores would let you rent movies. If you had a parent sign off, they would let kids rent movies. I'd rent a movie, I'd give them a couple dollars, I'd return the movie. Once they knew who I was, they would let me rent movies over and over. So I was always doing that so I can watch them with my friends. And we liked horror movies, like I Piss on Your Grave, or things like that, bad horror movies. So we saw Naked Lunch, and we're like, maybe there's nakedness in it. There's even like a Simpsons joke about Naked Lunch, about there being.
Yeah.
It's a Simpsons joke, but I saw the movie before the Simpsons joke, and I was like, oh yeah, funny. So yeah, that was a weird kind of thing with a lot of like beetles with anuses and weird things going on, and you don't understand, and it's weird and gross. That's Cronenberg. That's what he does. He did the remake of The Fly with Jeffrey Goldblum. That's one of his kind of tamer things, but you can see some of his work in the grody-ness of things going on. So yeah, Cronenberg. And then at the end of the movie, I'm like, this isn't a VR movie. Then I'm like, actually it is a VR movie. It's just using different technology than what the technology we would think of now for the majority of the movie. I won't spoil it, but watch the movie if you get a chance. If you like virtual reality stuff, this does fit the bill. It's a precursor to Inception and stuff like that. The tech is fun, and the grossness is fun because you're laughing afterwards. That's well, if you're into horror movies and gross things like I was at that time, and still a little bit now, it makes your wife go, ew! When Jude Law is eating weird, gross things so he can assemble the bone gun. Look, the teeth in the bone, the bullets in the bone gun are teeth. She's like, look, that one has a cavity. It's just funny. The whole movie's got these weird things going on, just like with The Fly, where you're pulling teeth and hair out and being weird, and then some weird sex stuff that's going on between them, and the sex stuff that's going with the pod, and it's stimulate. That's what Cronenberg does. It's sex and grossness and confusion.
Not a lot of sex in this one, though. Just kind of the one scene. Like I said, it's still a game. That's kind of where this division lies in the movie, where it's like they're playing this game, but they don't know the goal. They don't know the characters they're playing. And so it's this weird kind of like, it's like a holodeck simulation where you kind of like, you're just supposed to just walk in and start playing a role. But the entire game is like procedurally generated around the people who are playing it. So this game, it like makes up its own game. And you have to figure out what to do, but you have to, there's moments in this thing where you have to say a certain thing, or your character is supposed to do a certain thing, and you in VR will just automatically say, like, I want pancakes. You're like, why did I say that? Because the character is supposed to say, I want pancakes. And it's this weird, it's so weird. Like, I would love to see a follow-up to this film, just to see where this would kind of would go. But yeah, it was just, like I said, it's weird. That's the best I can describe it. It's weird.
It is weird. But it progresses a lot like video games in the 90s did. That's what this movie was really more of a commentary on video games and the new things we had and the way that you play them with dialogue and character interactions. That was a new thing in the 90s still. So it was a representation of that and a representation of virtual reality technology and what things could be in the future. What was your favorite part of the movie?
My favorite part of the movie was when Jude Law was like disassociated. I really just like the idea of him just being like, I don't know what's real, and he's touching posts, and Allegra is just laughing at him. She's like, haha, see, it's working. And he's like losing his mind because he doesn't know if he's like even like alive anymore. That cracked me up.
Yeah.
For some reason, I really enjoyed that one scene. Like I said, I really kind of latched onto Jude Law's just like unknowingness of his whole situation. So that scene to me was kind of very pivotal to like, I was also very confused at that time. So I was like, yes, at least Cronenberg knows that he's making this weird, confusing movie, and this is he's my guy. This is the guy I need to follow because he's just as confused as I am, and he's the lead character.
Yeah, at one point in there, he's like, I don't even understand this. I mean, it's gross. There's no sanitary conditions when I'm working in this trout farm and things like that. It just doesn't seem, feasible. So yeah, he's talking about it too. There's this little commentary that's going on with the movie the whole time. I liked the end in particular, that there's like this twist at the end. You're like, oh, there's a twist at the end. Is it or isn't it? And stuff like that. That was fun. I just like that it's got little subtle hints and nods and stuff like that. Like, you have to watch Allegra's hair to tell what version of reality you're in. You have to look at her hairstyle, because her hairstyle is a little bit different every time, in each one.
Both of them had different hair, but she's much more easy to tell.
Oh, did they both have different hair the whole time? I didn't, yeah.
Yeah, but his hair is short, so you can't really notice it as much, but hers is very obvious.
Yeah. I like that, and I liked the pod and the technology that was there. That was my favorite part. It was like, yeah, for technology to in the future, you don't understand it. It doesn't make sense. Where somebody else is like, ha ha ha, no, you're not. It doesn't have batteries. You're the battery. Ha ha. Look at this idiot not knowing where you put the batteries, kind of thing. So yeah, overall, I would say this is fun. I'm glad you suggested this. Looking forward to seeing what other kind of... It almost feels like a foreign film. Like last week we watched a foreign film. This is another foreign film, but it's an American foreign film. Because it's just so weird.
So would you recommend this for people to watch?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Me too. I totally agree. It's definitely worth watching once. At least then you can just be grossed out, because it'll gross anybody out.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's wrap this up for episode number 10. Where do we go to find out more about you, Ryan?
I'm the VR Grid. I have a YouTube channel. TheVRGrid.com is our website. I play and review VR games across a multitude of headsets. I'm on social media, the VR Grid. You can't miss me. The VR Grid, the VR Grid, the VR Grid. Danthol, what about yourself?
You can find me at watchinvr.com. I have a bunch of videos of things I shoot. I went to a Black Lives Matter protest with these cameras and shot that. So that's in virtual reality. I carve pumpkins. I do all kinds of fun things in virtual reality. You can go to watchinvr and see all of that. You can see my zoo video. You can't go to the zoo, but you can go to this Phoenix Zoo in virtual reality with my video right now. Thank you very much for watching Pop Goes VR episode number 10. Have a good one.
See y'all.